Assalamu alaikum, this is Ahmed Al-Hallaq, and in this video I will solve the questions that you have faced in the fourth quiz, I believe quiz number 4. You got like 10 questions, 8 of them were based on the tutorial and 2 of them were based on the second lab. So this is the second lab quiz or the second lab questions, all of them. This is all of the questions. I believe each one of you would have definitely like faced or found like 2 questions randomly out of this 19 questions. So I'm just going to go through all of them as fast as possible. And remember, the second lab quiz, or technically your fourth quiz, the questions regarding the second lab, it was pretty easier than the first lab, right? So this is not gonna take us a lot at all. Let's just jump into it. The first question is saying if the user has entered the value of 95 as an input in the variable dic or degree, what would the grade be displayed? Now, so basically this is the solution for the chart that I've shown you in the second lab. I told you there is a program that we need to make something like a chart. If the user had a grade of between 85 and above, he got an A. Between 75 and 85, he got a B, and etc. So this is the solution of that program. I hope that you have done this by yourself at home before I uploaded the solutions. But anyway, so let's see. If the degree, and let's say that the user has entered 95, if the degree is greater than or equal to 85, this is basically the first if statement. This is the first case. So if this first case is true, and that's what's actually happening, if this is true, the grade is gonna be A, and the rest of these else F's is not gonna be seen, because as I've told you, if you have multiple F's, multiple cases, if one of these cases is true, the rest of the cases are not even seen by Octave when you run the program. So you basically, the grade is gonna be A, and you're gonna skip all of these else F because all of these else F's, because one case is correct, one case is true. So we're gonna go to whatever beneath this if block. Okay, so what's beneath of it is displaying the grade, so we will have the grade A displayed, right? So it's B. Now enter a start value and N, right? And enter an end value and M, right? You're basically entering the start value and an end value for a for loop, and there's a step of 3. So he's saying let N equal to 3. The user entered an input in the first line in N of 3, and he entered next in the second line an input of 9 and M, and he's saying which of the following sequences would form the output of the previous code. So let's see. X is going to be started as a value of 3. Okay, that's the first iteration. X equals 3, first iteration. X will be displayed, so we're going to have 3. Okay, the next iteration, X is going to be incremented by 3, so we're going to have X equal to 6. 6 is going to be displayed, so we're going to have 6. Right. The next iteration, we're going to step X with another 3, so X is going to be 9. Right. Remember, the end value is 9, and X is now 9. In the third iteration, X is going to be displayed, which is 9, so we'll have 9. Okay, but remember, all of this is basically line by line. It's displayed vertically, not horizontally. But I just needed to, like, this is a much easier way for me to write the options like this. If I wrote the MCQs like something like that, it's gonna be like it's gonna be pretty hazardous. Okay, so we have 3, 6, and 9. All right. So basically, if you looked at this for loop, you will have the X counter starting from 1 to 7. So basically we have 7 iterations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Inside of the for loop, there's an if statement saying that this statement here, well, I like even numbers. This statement will be displayed if and only if X value is an even number. So how do we determine if a value is even or odd? Remember that we will take the mod of this value over 2. Okay, So basically what I'm saying is, if x value, if you took this x value and divided by a divisor of 2, if you divide it by 2 in a long division, and if this long division resulted in a remainder that is 0, meaning that there is no remainder, then this means that this x is an even number. So basically what I'm saying here is that if x is even number, print this. Well, I like even numbers. So you're just going to start counting how many even numbers do you have from 1 to 7. Like we have 2, 4, and 6. So this is going to be printed basically 3 times. The first time when x is 2, the second time when x is 4, the third time when x is equal to 6. So it's going to be printed 3 times. I hope this is clear, because we have done this example multiple times in the lab. So this should be pretty easy for you, okay? Alright, so state either the next statement is true or false. The following code will print the area of the rectangle to the screen, right? There is a width, and there is a height, and there is an area. This is basically false, because I'm saying the following code will print. There is no printing function in this code, right? We don't have a disp function. We don't have a printf function. I haven't really talked about printf, but there is no printing function in this code, all right? So this is going to be false. Now let's go to we use blank to suppress the variables built-in printing or echo at the end of each line. This is basically the semicolon, which is this guy right here, okay? Equal sign, we use the equal sign for assignment. If I want to assign a value on the right equal sign to a variable to the left equal sign, okay? So this is the assignment operator, or the equal sign. The backslash, which is the button above the enter button on your keyboard, this guy here, okay? This is used for left division, all right? All right. The parentheses, which is this parentheses, we don't really use it to suppress the variables input, the variables built in printing. We just use it for evaluating some expressions first in arithmetic. Okay, so it's the semicolon D. All right, so mod 7, 2. What will this result in? Let's just talk about this briefly. If you try this in your calculator and you try to do 7 divided by 2, it's gonna give you 3.5. So if you chose 3.5, then this is wrong, because I told you the result of the mod function is not whatever result that you get in your calculator. This fractional part that you get in your calculator, which is half 0.5, this is not the remainder. This gets the remainder of this values of this divisor or this dividend and divisor just by doing the long division. So you need to do the long division, and you need to see by yourself what is the remainder of this long division. And the answer of this long division, the remainder of this long division, is going to be the answer of this mod function. So basically, if you did a quick sketch like this, and you tried making a long division, that's the question. Mod 7, 2. This is the dividend, and this is the divisor here. So we're gonna say something like 3, all right? And when you multiply, this is gonna give you 6. So we have a remainder of 1. So basically, this is the result, all right? Not 3.5 and not 0.5. It is 1, all right? So the result is C. Okay? Now, the mod function returns the remainder of division. It's really straightforward. In arithmetic, if we have an expression that contains multiplication and an exponent, the blank will get evaluated first. Of course, exponent comes before multiplication and division. If you remember the order of operation, we start with whatever is inside the parentheses, then the exponent, then multiplication and division, then addition and subtraction. Considering the order of operations in arithmetic, if multiplication and division were found in the same expression, evaluation operation will go from left to right. Okay? You were asked to write a program that determines if a student passed the test or failed it based on a degree given by the user. So the user is going to enter a degree in the variable called dig. The test is out of 150. You want this code saying if degree is greater than 75, it's gonna say pass, else it's gonna say fail. But the problem is when you enter exactly 75, it's gonna tell you fail. So what can you do to actually modify this code and tells you pass whenever you enter 75? I mean, this is really straightforward. But let's see. The first option is saying change the if condition to degree greater than 70 or 76. And that's completely not true. In this case, if you entered 75, you'll be considered failed. But basically 75 is half of 150. So you need to consider this as pass. Right? So this is not correct. The second option is saying add an else if after the first if with the condition degree is equal 75. And within this else if, add the print statement to display pass. So what is the suggestion is something like this. Let's just try it. Dig, you're gonna take this input. If you took this input, we're gonna say, I'm just gonna write the code that we have on this side and let's see what does the option suggests. Dig is greater than 75. I know that by now, I think you know the answer, but I'm just gonna take this and try every option that we have. Okay, and this is going to have, all right. So basically, what is this suggesting is adding an else if after the first if statement with a condition of degree equals 75. So let's say else if degree was equal to 75, we're gonna say disp pass. Well, the logic behind this is true. Yeah, you can do this. You can make this if statement or if block consisting of three cases. The first case, if he has entered something greater than 75, then he has passed. The second case, if the degree is exactly equal to 75, then he also has passed, but else he will be failing the subject or the course. That's correct, but there is a problem here. This syntax is wrong. You can't use assignment inside an if statement condition. An if statement condition or if statement conditions in general are depending on the comparisons. So if you want to compare or if you want to compare a value to the other, you're going to use the equality check. This is the only thing wrong with this B option. Okay, so having a one equal sign here, this is just a tricky question to see if you know how does the condition or how do the condition are written in the if statements. Okay, so this is not correct. The logic behind of it is correct, but it is definitely not one equal sign. Okay, because this would mean assignment, not equality check. So B is wrong. The C is saying switch the display pass statement with the display fail, and this does not really make any sense. Add an else if after the first if with the condition of 75, and this is what we have done there. You can add something like this, and D is completely correct. Okay. Finally, E is saying change the if condition, the first if condition, to greater than or equal, and this is by far the best option of them, right? To make it like this, right? Only two cases, but you used your comparison operators correctly, so you have like shortened two cases in one case, and this is better. So basically, D is correct and E is correct, which is G, right? Now, the following equation can be written as false. Now, without spending time to write it in Octave, let's just check if everything is correct or not. We have 1 over the following. So there is the denominator, and let's put the denominator in one big brackets or one big parentheses. Okay, this is a square root, so I'm going to add to the power of half. This is correct. Within this parentheses, this is the denominator. Okay, so I'm saying 1 plus AB or epsilon to the power of 2, and this part is correct, multiplied by, and I'm actually having this between parentheses because it has a power here, so this is the parentheses for the omega over omega b, so we have omega over omega b to the power of 2 times n. So this is true, and if you try this in your code and give epsilon a value and give omega and omega b and n values and try to run h is going to store an actual value for this. So this is syntax based, this is, or syntax wise, this is correct. Okay, so it's true. What is the output of the following code? Now let's see. He's saying n is equal to true. If n is equal to true, n is equal to 2. If n is equal to 2, then we're going to display this is a 2. It's definitely a. Right? There's a syntax error in this following code. Okay, what is it? If num is greater than 0, display positive. Else if equal to 0, we're going to say display 0. Else we're going to say display negative. So what is the problem here? Everything in this code is fine, but if you try to type the same stuff in your Octave editor, it's going to tell you that you are missing an end f at the end of this block. So there's a missing end f. Okay. The following code swaps the values of x and y. Is this true or false? Let's see. Now x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 5. We have done actually this in the first lab. Alright, so you should be familiar with this syntax, but let's take this one by one. First, I'm going to place x value, which is 3, inside of temp. So temp now has 3 and x has 3. Now I'm going to say that I'm going to take y value, which is 5, and I'm going to place it inside of x. So x is 5 and y is 5. Okay? Now, let's take the value of temp, which was previously 3, and place it in y. So y is 3 and x is 5. Y is 3 and x is 5. So you can say that the values are reversed or swapped. So this is true. Alright? With the following code, change the value of x to 5. Let's see. X equal to 2 and y equal to 5. Would you say that y value, which is 5, be placed in x value, so x now is equal to 5 too? No, this is completely wrong, because this is an equality check. This statement would actually return 1 or 0. This is an equality check, so this is going to return true or false. This is not going to change x value or y value. And in this case, of course, this statement is going to return false, because x is not equal to y. But no assignment will be done. X is not going to be changed to y's value. So this is false. Which of the following sequences describe the output of the following code? So sum is equal to 0. 4, let's say that we have the numbers from 2 to 7 with a step of 2. So we're getting the even numbers 2, 4, and 6, right? Now let's say that the first iteration is going to have sum 0 plus x, which is the first iteration, is 2. So sum is 2, okay? Now, the next iteration, increment x by 2, so x is 4. 4 plus 2, we're going to have the new sum of 6. Alright? So 6 is going to be displayed. This displayed inside of this loop. Alright? Go to the head of the loop, increment x with 2, so you have x equal to 6. 6 plus 6. This is going to give you a new sum of 12, and it's going to be printed because of this display inside the for loop. Right? And go to the head of the loop. Now, increment x with 2, so 2 is going to be 8, but 8 is out of the range between 2 and 7, so basically none is going to be executed. So you're going to get out of the for loop, and you're going to execute whatever is beneath this for loop. So basically you're going to print the sum, which was 12, one more time. So basically the answer is B. Alright? Now, which of the following sequences is true? Here we have a multiplication of even numbers. Why even numbers? Because we have started with a 0 and there is a step of 2, so we have 0, 2, 4, 6. That's the last even number we get because we have the end value of 7. Okay, so we're saying now that the multiplication is 1, right? So basically 1 multiplied by the first iteration, which is when x is equal to 0, is going to give you mul will be 0. The next iteration where x is equal to 2 multiplied by the previous value of mul, which is 0, is going to give you 0. The next iteration, x is going to be equal to 4 multiplied by the previous value of mul, which is 0, is going to give you 0. So basically the answer of this is 0 because we started x with a 0. Okay? Now, this actually is the actual code that gets you the multiplication of even numbers between 2 to 7, or let me rephrase, between 0 to 7. Okay, so to get the even numbers or multiplication of even numbers from 0 to 7, do not get fooled by this start value. This start value actually ruin everything. Okay, so you need to be smarter than this. You can't actually put this one, because if you put this one, this program is going to give you the multiplication of odd numbers from 0 to 7. So you need to put a 2 to give you the multiplication of even numbers from 0 to 7, like that. Okay, so let's say that mul is 1 and x in the first iteration is 2, so you have mul 2. Alright, the next iteration, x is going to be equal to 4. 4 times 2 is going to give you 8. The next iteration is x equal to 6. 6 times 8, 48. Okay, so it's going to give you C. Alright, and this is it. That's it. Right, that was the questions for the second lab that you have, I believe you have found in quiz number 4.